What's good with it today? It's Thursday. 2 more days because that bye week it just seems like the game gets further and further away, doesn't it? Lucky Lefty podcast. Anora boys are in the building. We are brought to you by Anora Whiskey, AnoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, AnoraWhiskey.com. And we are courtesy of Bleav Network, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can tap in, get all of the audio, drop new episodes each and every day. And then we are presented by FanDuel, FanDuel.com. We're currently, as the Holy War approaches at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time at Alumni Stadium up at Chestnut Hill, Bill O'Brien's Eagles take on Marcus Freeman's Fighting Irish. And the Fighting Irish are still at 28.5. I thought it would go up a little bit, but they still are sitting at 28.5 point underdogs. You can find that at FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app. And after this big win on Saturday, the first domino in 5 to fall leading into the playoffs, you have to make sure that you celebrate with Anora and drink
responsibly.
Let's get it, love. LL Nation, what's good? Fighting Irish fans, what's good? I am SD2 Mics. That dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik's ZAIRE. Brought to you by Anora Whiskey. Go to TikTok, Instagram, X, at Lucky Lefty Pod. Give us a follow. Then subscribe on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button. It helps with the views. Leave your comments and questions because we indeed respond to all. Matter of fact, if you have a GTB question, get it in so we can get to it. You have a super chat. We appreciate you in advance. Don't forget patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. After a lot of work with host heroes, Reggie Brooks, 4 for 40 with Reggie Brooks, is back tomorrow. He's been putting in work. Went on the road to 2 home games. They've been doing a lot of charitable work all around the country. I think he even threw in there a golf tournament late in the golf season. So that's back on patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network and a new episode of Prep Star Recruiting with myself. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. It is amazing to be here with you guys. Of course, it's Thursday, Malik's 3 Keys. We won't have a show tomorrow because tomorrow begins the first round of the Illinois High School State Playoffs.
Oh, that's early, ain't it?
Yes, and it's a big time matchup. First round, Mark Carmel with Quentin Burrell and many other targets for Notre Dame. They take on Loyola Academy.
This early?
This early. Loyola Academy had a rough year. Oh. They had 4 losses, and they had to get in as a wild card, right? 5 wins get you in. They only had 4, and so they had to get in as a wild card. You're an automatic qualifier if you win 5 games in the state of Illinois. So, yes, Mount Carmel. I talked to QB, and I was like, man, that's because they played them to end the regular season, bro. They just beat them to end the regular season. And now, the parents come out and they have to face them in the first round of the playoffs. I'm like, dude, they're really mad. They're trying to make the path difficult for Mark Carmel as they go for 4 consecutive state championships. So,
oh, wow.
4 consecutive state championships. It's only been done twice. No, it's been twice. It's been done twice. Mark Carmel did it 12 years ago. They got the last of 4 in a row. So this will be the second time Mark Carmel will have won 4 in a row if they do it this year. The other one was East St. Louis. The East St. Louis Flyers won 4 in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's just a little bit of Illinois State football history, and it all begins tomorrow. So, and then for everyone that you guys have children, tomorrow, of course, holiday where children go out, have fun, get a lot of candy. Left, don't eat up your boy's candy, bro. Because I
Well,
know,
it's two of them, so that's
I
a lot of
know.
candy to work through.
No, bro, no. I know you. I know you. You know, you put them to bed, and then you start going through the packages like what they got. Let me see.
Yeah,
They
the
don't. They
good
don't.
stuff that
They
they don't
don't.
need. They don't
They
need
don't
that.
need this. Right. Right. They don't need this. They don't need that.
They don't even know what this is right here. It's
What's the one candy you would steal?
man, the gummies. The gummies is the sour
Really?
gummies, the
The
gummy
sour.
bears.
Okay. Okay. The
Yes,
sour gummies.
they might be a few missing in those packages. The chocolate, the only chocolate I really like 100 grand or like a
100 grand
cold
is
Twist
underrated. 100 grand is underrated.
or your Rolos, your Rolos.
Ooh, the
Those
Rolos. A pack of those.
just a little pack. I mean, you can't go wrong,
I
but
used to get mad when they used to get like if they were in your pocket and you forgot and you crushed them, or you leave them out and they kind of melt together.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. I had an argument with.
Milk does too. That's my
Oh,
milk does, man. Love milk.
that's true story. When I first met my wife in high school, her mom used to call me Milk Dud.
No way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wouldn't know
Her
how to take
mom. I,
that.
it was actually favorable. It was actually favorable, but she used to call me Milk Dud. So one of my favorite candies as well. I was actually talking to one of my god. I was talking to my goddaughter Sunday, and we were arguing about the best chocolate candy. And she said the best chocolate candy was Kit Kat, and I was like, Kit Kat is boring.
Boring.
I was like, it's a wafer covered in chocolate. Like,
It's not getting far in the echelons of chocolate.
no. It's mid tier.
Milk does are beating that quick. That's round one cleanup.
Yeah, my top three chocolate, my top three. Um, I'm going Reese's, Snickers, Milky Way.
Milky Way, wow.
Milky Way is underrated, bro.
Milky Way, wow.
I used to be a huge Three Musketeers fan back in the day, but I
Right.
stopped.
The cousin.
I stopped.
You can't find Three Musketeers these days.
And I was a huge Chico Stick fan back in the day.
Ah, yeah.
So I used to love butter.
Too?
Cowtails and Black Cow. Yes, sir. I fell in love with Butterfinger because I was a huge Chico Stick fan.
Yep. Chico Stick.
So, but I kind of, yeah. Almond Joy is the worst, bro. I'm sorry.
The worst.
Mounds and Almond Joy, absolutely the worst.
Payday, good go to.
Payday is okay. Boston baked beans, those are my wife's favorite.
I've never had favorite.
Boston baked beans. It's kind of like it's a peanut hard shell cherry candy on top.
Oh, cherry candy.
Yeah. It's solid. It's not like in my top three. Like I'm Cherry Clan, then Lemonhead, then Mike and Ike's. We're just talking about hard candies. That would be like those are my top three.
Classic, man. I go now and later's though.
Which kind though? Which kind?
Only the ones from the convenience stores in the hood.
Like Tropical Punch, Mystery Mix.
The ones you can't find in the grocery store.
In the grocery store, yeah. The apple. Well, you can find the apple everywhere usually. But the Tropical Punch, the Mystery Mix, man, those are the best. Low key, bananas are good. Yeah, Fruit Punch. Bananas are low key underrated flavor for now and laters as well.
Yeah, good candy.
Yeah. And if you know the Chews. Did you all have? Did you have chews?
We got Matumbos.
No. We had like chews. Like they came in like these little. They had a fat face kid on the plastic. They came in strawberry, cherry,
Oh
apple,
yeah, those are
grape.
throwback candies. Yeah, those are
Yeah, that's like a candy store, like hood. Somebody grandfather out front with snowballs and snow cones and like penny candy. Yeah. Yeah, David Solomon, I'm sorry. I don't like coconut. I don't even eat German chocolate cake because of coconut. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Of course, each and every week, we have Malik's Three Keys brought to you by Honora Whiskey, 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. It's the Fighting Irish. They're going to be taking on the Boston College Eagles up in Chestnut Hill. They lead the series, and that's not something that is foreign. I mean, well, it's the Holy War, but we know, if you know who's this series really belongs to.
That's right.
It's some classic games.
Really the haves versus have-nots.
Yeah, some classic games too. The 93 game. Then you got the 99 game with the fourth down stop with Covington hitting the guy at the half-yard line to seal the victory. Of course, it's painful for Notre Dame fans to look back to the 93 game.
But it's been 93 years since.
Yeah, it has. It has. Notre Dame has the edge all time, 18-9. They're 6-4 on the road in true road games at BC. And the last time they were there was during COVID, November 14th, 2020. 45-31 was the score as the Fighting Irish came away with the victory. So I was looking at this record. It is amazing. Do you realize, Left, that as much as SEC fans, I get it. Big Ten fans, I get it. But when I see ACC fans complaining about Notre Dame not playing a full ACC schedule, Notre Dame is 221-84 with 3 ties all time against ACC teams. Like, do you really want Notre Dame to play a full ACC schedule?
Yeah, you thought Alabama was running stuff for a while.
And Marcus Freeman is 13-2 against the ACC since he took over. So do they really want Notre Dame to play a full ACC schedule? I don't know if they really want that. But this is Malik's Three Keys brought to you by Honora Whiskey. What's your 3 keys for this one, Left?
The first one is balance. I would love to see CJ get back on track, complementing the run game, getting in his 250, 300 range, activating some of the receivers, because I would love to see our second and third units get on the field. And I think a quick start from him, complementing the running game that I feel like is going to be there, I think it will help add points to the scoreboard early and give our younger guys opportunities. So CJ getting back on track in a balanced offense, I would love to see it. The second thing, key to victory defensively, I think we just got to be who we are. I think creating turnovers, once again, helping get the younger guys on the field by second half. So having 2 early turnovers in the first half that convert to points, I think that's a huge key. And in special teams, cleaning up our field goal units. Hopefully we don't take many field goals, but cleaning up the field goal unit and then allowing us to, again, have something of an explosive play in the special teams department, whether it be a touchdown or a kickoff return or even a punt return. We're still doing a lot of fair catches, in my opinion. But, 3 phases of the game, nice and easy this week. And we're playing pretty early on my end. It's at 12:30. So we hopefully we can get them out the way early.
No, the game's at 3:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to make sure it's 12:30 your time.
Yeah, I know it's coming on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So for Irish fans, that's an inside joke because Left woke up thinking we had a game last week and was asking, where we at? Where we playing? What time we on?
Yeah, I wasn't
And
seeing no buzz. I wasn't seeing nobody getting. I was like, good grief, we quiet today.
fans was sparing Left like, hey man, he must not know. We just gonna let it breathe. Lucky Lefty
Two bye weeks
podcast.
during the season. Is that man? I've always thought that was odd.
I think it's actually beneficial now. I think it's needed, especially if you're going to be going into the playoffs.
Yeah,
If you have a playoff stretch,
games.
they reboot. It really is. They play 7 of the 12 games, but you kind of feel like, okay, this is the halfway point. Now they go on another 5-game run because they had a bye week after Miami, and then they went on a 5-game run. Then they had another bye week, and now they're about to embark on another 5-game run, 5-game stretch. So I actually like it like that. Play the tough first game against a good team, take a bye, rattle off 5, another bye, rattle off another 5, and go into the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm going to say something because we're going to hear from CJ Carr since you talked about him. We're going to hear from him. And can I just say this? Because, I'm the petty media guy.
that's right.
I'm the petty media guy. We are 7 games deep, which means 7 media weeks deep. No, 8 media weeks deep into the season. It is not a prerequisite to ask every player that steps to the mic their thoughts on CJ Carr in week 8. Dude, at this point, what else do you think they're going to say? I'm just like, man, we're still asking people, what do you think about CJ Carr?
Yeah.
That's just, that's me, the old man on the media lawn. Like, come on, man, we could dig deeper than that. But I'm going to step out and say this. You said you hope that he gets back on track. I think CJ will take his biggest step in his game during bowl preparation.
Really?
Absolutely. Basically 2.5 to 3 weeks of nothing but preparation. Absolutely. Because now now he has all the film of everything and he has seen it and has the reps. Now for 3 weeks he can go practice it. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think he's going to make I think that prep for that playoff game is definitely going to be super beneficial. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So those are my thoughts. Malik's 3 keys. You know how he does it each and every week right here. Lucky Lefty Podcast presented by Anora Whiskey. Left, you had a very interesting comment before we got on. We were doing show prep. And you were discussing what you were hearing. You brought up Josh Pate and his apology to Notre Dame fans. We were talking about the debacle that is the LSU job and how the governor stepped out emphatically and said that Scott Woodward would not be, who was the AD, would not make the hire of the new head coach. Only to come back today and say, man, I was talking big and bold yesterday, but honestly, I'm only involved in this because it's the taxpayers' money. Somebody pulled your coattail after you got done talking crazy yesterday. That's what happened. That's what happened. But you were talking about, and we were talking about that the correct thing to do right now, and this plays into Marcus Freeman. And I'm going to preface this by saying, please don't run somewhere saying we were being disrespectful to Marcus Freeman, because it's definitely not what we're doing. It's just a conversation piece. Because you and I believe the right decision for LSU and Florida in particular is to actually go off the radar.
Yeah.
Stop Nick Saban. Why are you talking about Nick Saban?
Why?
Marcus Freeman. What are you talking about? Marcus Freeman isn't going anywhere. Yeah. Dan Lanning. What are you talking about? And as far as LSU goes, there's a team that for the last 3 seasons has been absolutely fantastic, has won some big bowl games, and has a coach that has recruited the state like crazy. He's in your backyard. His name is John Sumrall. He's the head coach of the Tulane Green Wave.
Yeah.
And they're a pretty good program.
Right down the street.
He's right down the street. Just go get him. You're already paying one coach. He's not going to cost you $10 million. Go get him. He knows the state. He knows the coaches. He knows how to recruit. Go get him. And he's going to work his tail off. It's easy. It's an easy play. In baseball, they say a walk is as good as a hit, Left.
Okay, yeah.
The hit might be flashier, but you're still walking down to first base either way. It doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't make a difference. A walk is as good as a hit. Now, I know somebody's going to say, well, what if the hit is a home run? Look, come on, man. Let's stay with the same. He is right there. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. And that goes to your point, Left. These schools, the presidents, the board members, the trustees, ADs, they have to stop thinking about these home runs and just go get guys in this era of college football where I don't know if the CEO really don't want to recruit. I don't know if that guy is going to be successful.
Yeah, you don't, yeah. I mean, how many times are we going to see the Bob Stoops or the Stoop family sweepstakes?
Man, how many times do I have to hear Matt Campbell's name, bro? How many times?
Yeah.
It is, and this goes to Marcus Freeman. This goes to Marcus Freeman. Because instead of Jack Swarbrick getting emotional, and I applaud him, Left. I absolutely applaud him. Instead of being emotional after the foolishness that Brian Kelly took him through the last 6 years, constantly flirting. Like you go to the party with your girl and she's constantly flirting and dancing with other people right in front of you. That was basically Brian Kelly. That's what he did with Jack Swarbrick for the last 6 years of his tenure. He just flirted with everybody else right Jack Swarbrick's face. And then came back asking for some money. Can I have some money? Like the worst girlfriend dance partner you could ever have. But Jack Swarbrick didn't panic, didn't go after Urban Meyer, didn't go after another big name. He went and found him a guy that would hustle. You know why? Now, this is where it becomes important because Left, this is where it becomes important. Because you talk all the time that Notre Dame is never going to let anybody get bigger than the brand.
I mean, that coach. Now, it would be nice to see Marcus Freeman change that.
I don't know how many people under Lou Holtz became bigger than the brand.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which I think in this instance helped Jack Swarbrick. And it should help LSU because LSU should be able to say, dude, Les Miles won a championship here. Ed Orgeron won a championship here. This is LSU. Anybody that can hustle and is competent can win a championship at LSU. Notre Dame is proving that. And like I say that, not to be dismissive or unappreciative of the work that Marcus Freeman has done. But let's be honest. Charlie Weiss had a 10-win season. Ty Willingham had a 10-win season. Dude, if you come to Notre Dame and have a bit of competence, and you work your tail off despite some of the hurdles that you have that might be higher or more than the other schools, you're going to win. Why? It's Notre Dame.
It's Notre Dame.
I'm not saying you're going to win a championship, but you're going to win. You can win 10 games every year. Heck, the previous coach didn't even work, especially at recruiting, and he still won 10 games and is the all-time winningest coach. So I just want to tell the rest, LSU, Florida, stop, man. Stop.
Yeah.
Florida Gators. Hey, Florida Gators, stop dreaming. Don't you go, dude. Don't you go get James Franklin.
I always lame.
Don't you go get, dude. Go get Lane Kiffin for what?
For what?
For what? You're already paying one coach not the coaching. Now you're going to pay 10, 12 million to Lane Kiffin? Because that's what it's going to take, because Mississippi is going to match.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a financial tug of war. So what you have to give up financially and in power and leverage, is it worth it when you have Alex Golish for South Florida right down the street?
Right down the street. That's my
that
guy.
has proven he can hustle and recruit Florida and build a program? Like, dude, stop making it hard. Go get somebody like Jack Swarbrick did, who believes in the brand, believes in the program and the school, and is willing to go hustle and build with an identity. Now, I say that to say this. If you can get Lane Kiffin, it's a home run. I'm not fronting on Lane Kiffin. If you can get Lane Kiffin, you definitely have hit a home run. It's going to cost you, though.
Yeah, it's just going to cost you.
It's going to cost you. It's definitely going to cost you. But I think, Left, that the Marcus Freeman and Jack Swarbrick, they didn't start a trend, because there have been several ADs that went out and got a guy that was from a MAC school or another school, and the guy ended up being a great head coach. That's happened throughout college football history. But I think in this age, especially with NIL, when you have to spend so much money now to players, it might be beneficial for some of these schools to scale back on what they spend to head coaches. I would go get a hustler as a head coach, pay the assistant coaches, and pay my staff and analysts, and really invest in the recruiting program. And then I know I have to pay my players, because I have to retain them and keep them on the roster. Then I have to go out there and get some guys. That's the way I would go. That's the way I would go. And I'm not doing an 8 to 10 year deal. We can do like a 6-year deal with options. You can do the LeBron James. Like, we'll redo this contract every year. He just has, he has an opt-out every other year. I'm just saying, I would do 5 years and then just have annual opt-outs.
You don't just get a LeBron James deal, though.
Man, get out your emotions. Clutch Sports. Man, this dude left.
Clutch Sports. I'm just saying, that's like saying everybody that can run. They call them like Lamar Jackson speed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 5 year. You could pick up options. That's the way that I would do it.
Yeah, and then again, you got to think that coaching is at a value. So it's no longer a coach that can't win now, and even building a program is going to take a minute.
Yeah. So that's our take on the current state. Jack Swarbrick got it right. He saw the writing on the wall. He went, got him somebody that could be a face of the program, that was going to hustle, that believed in the brand. And Notre Dame is back. They're back. USC snuck in late at night, stole somebody's girlfriend, didn't do their homework, and didn't realize, dude, we got a dude that's never really built a program. And here we are in his 4th year, and we still haven't gotten our money's worth. And we gave him everything. And he's not going anywhere for a long time. We're stuck. We're stuck with Lincoln Riley. That's because you go chasing, don't go chasing waterfalls, as TLC said. Don't do it. Don't do it. Lucky Lefty Podcast. So, Left, linebacker coach Max Bullock. Man, I love this dude. I really do. Some of these coaches, man, they give you coach speak. Max Bullock is not a coach on this staff that gives you coach speak. He's very detailed in what he explains, what he talks about, what he explains. And I would love to play for him because if he's that detailed with the media, I can only imagine how he is with his guys. And Left, you said before the season when we ranked the position groups on this team, you said you thought the linebackers were going to be the stars in the best group on the team. You said that.
That's right. That's right.
You said that. Even with the running backs in contention, you were like, yo, that linebacker room is just a little bit deeper.
Yeah, just more. I mean, it's the signature of the team. I think Drake Bowen just an individual, I think he speaks for what Marcus Freeman says the team represents.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the pride of that room, considering Marcus Freeman as a player and coach himself, a defensive guy, I think he has a lot of stake in that position group being great regardless. So I don't have a problem with it, which I think is going to the point of why it was going to be an adjustment period of defense being your golden goose, but the offense got to lead. So working through that transition, I think he's found that he's left that space open for the offense to still take that mantle, but he's still keeping things in place, having a consistent defense in the run game.
And he talked about his linebackers and how they've gotten better throughout the season.
Over the last 5 games, I just think that in terms of the continuity on defense, our familiarity with the defense, the way that it's look, every year's different. We got new pieces. We had a new defensive coordinator come in. We still look very similar to last year if you watch the tape. There's always a little bit of nuance in how we're going to call things and what way we're going to handle certain situations. I think there's always a little period of time where you have to adjust to how the new coordinator sees it and how the coordinator calls it when you get in the game, because you don't really know that until you get to the games. Point being, that's really irrelevant. It's really just this group of people, this 2025 team, 2025 defense coming together without the likes of Xavier Watts, without Jack Kaiser, without these guys that have played so much football. This is kind of the first time in a while we've had a little bit less experienced team, and I think that's really what has most to do with it.
I think that's a great point, man, especially towards the end there when he was talking about, look, you talk about all that's irrelevant. Let's get to the point. These guys are the 2025 version of the Notre Dame defense.
Yep.
They had to get used to the coaching, the situational things.
Yep.
And they had to mesh because they were used to having 2 guys out there and senior leaders.
That they could just fall behind,
Absolutely. And so in that, to start with the 2 tough opponents they started with, you have to give them credit for not letting go of the rope.
Right, because they could have went the opposite direction with a 2-loss stretch like that, especially realizing, dang, we don't have the Riley Mills and the Xavier Watts. Oh, we don't have the Al Golden. A team could have tanked after that. But to see us to rally and get better and really turn the corner shows that the linebacker group was always the group that was going to have to bring us through this year, considering we lost Ben Morrison, Xavier Watts, the defensive line leadership with Howard Cross and Riley Mills. So I think that the linebacker group with Drake Bowen and those other linebackers, it was the prime time for them to take the torch, considering all the leaders around them vacated, defensive coordinator vacated, and now Marcus Freeman's like, hey, you guys got to lead the young pups, but you're capable. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, they're not inexperienced. They got about 2 seasons on them. Now, this third season is truly where they lead from the front, considering the change in D-line, the youth in the secondary, young guys additional to transfers. The core that stayed, developed and through has really been linebackers. We haven't gotten a linebacker transfer. We've gotten DBs. We've gotten nickels. We've gotten D linemen.
Yeah.
But we haven't got linebackers. And I think that's Marcus Freeman saying, hey, we developing this right here because this is my signature touch. We can fill and replace everything else, but these linebackers got to grow in this system. That's the core of what we do. Drake Bowen was the defensive captain the day before he stepped on campus. I mean, we were preparing for him to come. So ain't no transfers coming into the linebacker room anytime soon, considering, the type of guy Max Bullock is like. The way he talk is like, man, you got to grow up through this. You got to learn. You got to process. You got to be molded. It's going to change. So I don't see how a transfer comes into that. And wow's a guy like Max Bullock because he believes in process. And all of the linebackers, except for Ramo, which he's going through right now, has been through a process. Most of them been through a championship. Think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an experienced group. Now it just took the intangible part of them extending their leadership to the D-line and safeties because, before you didn't have to turn around. Xavier Watts talking to you. What's Xavier Watts and Ben Morrison calling? Okay, I only have to turn around. I just got to worry about this box. Oh, I got Riley Mills and Howard Cross up front. Okay, I can worry about my job. With all of that, I'll go and call in the plays. I know this. I know where I'm supposed to be in these calls. With all 3 of those missing, linebacker group is like, okay, I got to turn around now. I got to know the full 360. Oh, these young guys don't know the calls up front. I got to make sure they in their gap. The defense coordinator's new. I got to get his calls and communicate. So everything becomes new, but the same group of guys, once they get in their groove, I mean, they're off and running and they seem to figure it out.
Yeah, I agree with you, Left. I think this group, even if you go back to the very first recruiting class as a defensive coordinator that eventually ended up being under him as a head coach, he came in immediately and said, we need to change how we recruit linebackers. We need to get longer and faster at linebacker. Like, he recognized that immediately. And then in the next offseason, he says, yo, I have a conversation with the quarterbacks on our roster because we can't win with this type. Those are my words. Those are my words. I'm just saying, those are my words. You have a conversation. It sounds
like a direct quote, but we'll say.
Like, yo, I'm sorry. Yo, I was able to win 9 games with Drew Pine and Tyler Buckner, but
I don't want to win like that any longer.
No. And then now we celebrate because the quarterback room is what it is. But it goes back. Yes, it goes back to being able to be honest enough and bold enough. Yes, I can win 9 games in Notre Dame like this.
I mean, hell, Tyler came back though, so
eventually.
Maybe Tyler had to leave to get better to come back, like Denver.
Like you said, we're still waiting on that Tyler Buckner 30 for 30 in like a decade. It's coming.
Man, the man got a Goldman Sachs internship ready as soon as he said, I'm going to put the cleats down and pick the briefcase up, they're waiting on him. That's pretty good.
That's Notre Dame at its finest, boy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I can't lie.
He talked about his two big dogs. That would be Drake Bowen and Kingston. This is what he had to say about both of those guys. And then he goes on to just, talk about everything that Drake means to the defense and what he does.
About Drake is, I think people look at Drake and they stereotype him and say, hey, I don't know, can that guy cover running backs out of the backfield? Can that guy cover tight ends? And I'll tell you right now, he can cover them with the best of them. That's something he's gotten really good at. He's worked at it. He's like 230, 235 right now, so he can run with any of them. So if you're asking about Drake, that would be the answer for Drake. KBA, you pretty much see everything he's got on Saturdays, man. I mean, he can make plays at a lot of different spots, whether it's on the line of scrimmage, blitzing, playing stack backer. He can move his shoulder and hip separation is second to none. So I don't think King's really hiding anything from anybody. You're kind of seeing what King is, and he's a special player when he's on.
How hard does Drake hit out there?
How hard is Drake? Drake's had the opportunity to make some good plays, some big hits. You know, a lot of those are, you have to put yourself in the position and you have to be able to finish and capitalize on the situation. He's been able to do that. I think that's been his way of being the physical presence for our defense.
I was going to say, how much of an impact does that make beyond that play? Just like kind of just rallying the rest of the team when they kind of see that as well.
Well, we pride ourselves on being a physical football team. I mean, that's what we say. We're a physical football team. Okay, and anytime you get the chance to make a play like that, it's really important that you make it, because we can't just walk or talk the talk. We got to walk the walk. Okay, so the first thing is getting in the position to make that play, and the second thing is going in and capitalizing it, because like you said, that brings the whole team up. That allows you to put the tape on and say, here's the expectation, here's what we want, here's what Notre Dame defense should look like.
I love a coach that loves his players, but still talks about them through a football sense. He's just not like, yeah, he's a heck of a ball player, da-da-da. He's like, yeah, we say when opportunities come, make them, and he makes them. And that's what makes him special. And then that's a way to give him the proper respect without it being like he's just a fan of him. And I think that's the relationship they have that keeps them getting better. Because Max Bullock just, if you talk to him, he probably hard to impress him. But when he goes and talks about you, it's impressive. He's very glowing, which is a good feeling, because you can always do more. And I think that's just an extension of Marcus Freeman. I mean, I think Max Bullock has a lot of what probably a young Marcus Freeman coaching started at. But maybe that's his protege in the future. I mean, is it lining up from personality, and he's a little rough right now. That's why he's an assistant coach. I think he'll polish up under Marcus Freeman and be the next good head coach coming out.
Yeah, I kind of agree that he speaks of them in the aspect, and it's not in the sense of coach speak. He literally, like I said, he can give you the details of each one. Like he talked about Drake, how he's improved. He talked about people try to act like he's not an athlete. He can't run. He can't cover, but he can. And he's at 235, which means he can stand up in the run game, play physical, and do what he needs to do in the trenches. He's giving you the details of what makes him great. And then he just goes in and talks about, the hips of Kingston, talks about him being able to play from the stack, being able to play from the box, being able to play from the line of scrimmage. Like he's giving you the details of what makes each guy special, because they're two totally different players. I like that, man.
You can tell he's a good ball coach, that's separate than just being a guy that got great talent.
Yeah.
He's not like just leeching off the fact that he had recruited great. He's applying what he knows to make these, to be able to evaluate. I think that's what makes him such a good coach, is because he knows how to evaluate properly to get better. He's just not saying good job, bad job. And a lot of that helps those players understand when and even how to coach themselves too. So what a great relationship that powerhouse is. Eventually it could turn into a he stands situation where they're producing top echelon linebackers, and I think it would be a great kickoff to have Drake Bowen be one of the first. I like Madden Faramo. I like KVA. I like what they're doing. No different than Zach Martin kicking off He Stands run. So there's potential in it, and Notre Dame's good for it, having a strong linebacker at some point. And, I mean, we've had a ton of Buckets Award winners. I think that's underrated. And we had a run of it for a little bit. Wusu, Jalen, and Manti. So something to think about.
Yeah, I agree with you, Love. Lucky Lefty podcast. So you look at these linebackers, just the ability, and you look at that USC game, Kingston and Drake, you felt them in that game. USC definitely had to deal with them, but you felt their play on a snap-to-snap basis. It's like it wasn't like 3 snaps here, like where's Drake, or a series here, like where's Drake. You know, I used to see that all the time on the social media timelines, and it's like, yo, all these young man. I love what Marcus Freeman. We're going to talk about what Marcus Freeman, some of the things he said, some very encouraging words about Cam Williams today, and some other players, and we'll go over the guys that are still out for this BC matchup, but. These linebackers, man, they are falling right in line, once again, making you very prophetic, Love, because it was very easy and low-hanging fruit to say that the running back room is going to be the best positional group. But, you know, when you stood up and said, no, it's going to be the linebackers that are the stars as a positional group, I don't think it was you were stepping out there too far. Like it was like great odds of that happening. I thought the odds were pretty, like right behind running back. Like, I could see that. We expected more from the offensive line early. And we definitely thought the defensive line, especially in the run game, would perform to where they've gotten to right now.
Yeah, but there's more star potential in the linebacker room, which I think matters. You know,
is this the best combination? Are Drake and Kingston the best combinations since Tavon and Drew?
I mean, Drew's more of a hybrid player at that time.
But he played linebacker next to Tavon, though.
Yeah, now he playing. You know, I think the two now are probably more beloved and more talked about. The two that, you know, Tavon and Drew is a great point because they were both great players at the same time, but wasn't as highlighted. And neither one of them was given the type of adulation that Drake got coming in. I mean, he was getting Manti type of love from just the respect of him coming to the school, and then KVA has some of the same hype coming in. So I think they're matching more of what the hype is coming in, and I think the other two became great players that didn't come in riding the horse. You know, they came more developed stars. I think these are stars developing. Yeah, that's the difference.
Their story was really about
Drew and Tavon. Both got hurt. They were getting hurt the whole time.
Right.
So that's more of them developing in the stardom, where KVA and Drake were stars coming in, and then they're living up to it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. Lucky Lefty podcast. He was also asked about what the team's identity is. What is the team, and specifically the defense? What's the defensive identity of this team after 7 games and after the bye week? This is what Max Bullock had to say.
Our identity is to attack. I think it's to attack for the most part. We play a lot of man coverage. You can watch the tape and see that. We're going to bring some guys from different levels, different angles, but our philosophy is to attack and make you react to what we're doing.
I like hearing that. Because Chris Ash is not going to give you too much. Like, man, we need to allow Max Bullock to speak for Chris Ash when he's up there.
Short to the point. He's got the action words. and he's serious. He ain't up there mincing words at all. And I think his energy and I think this is his personality built into a DC role, a face of a program type of role, because you just think of a football coach thinking of him. Like, you think of him in the same line of a Marcus Freeman and I think the Georgia Tech coaches like that. Just cut the BS. We gonna play football, we gonna fly under the radar if we got to, but we gonna be physical every week. That's one of those kind of guys. And I think that sticks in this era because guys want to get after it and as much as possible and learn. And I think just a great hire for Marcus Freeman because he's another guy that started out of nowhere. It wasn't like he had a ton of accolades coming into this position. He really grew up doing assistant, then linebacker coach. Like, he really is taking those steps. And I think Marcus Freeman probably saw himself in that and was like, yeah, we got a good one.
Yeah, I agree. And I love the fact, I think, I can't speak to it. I can only go by the evidence. And Max Bullock made a great point, right? There was this separation that he talked about, that there had to be something in transition where it was going to slow the process because the new guys, if they had Kaiser and Watts on the field in leadership, it probably would have aided in the transition from the old defensive coordinator to the new coordinator, Chris Ash. But they had young players, and he said that we have young players, but they're experienced. Young players, but they're experienced. And so with that, the one thing they weren't experienced at as being leaders and doing all of the things that Jack Kaiser and Xavier Watts did for the last 2 seasons. And so I think that points to now they're getting comfortable as a defense. I think that's really dangerous for the 5 teams that are left on this schedule. This Notre Dame defense is really getting comfortable. As I said before, Marcus Freeman finally was open and honest about the injuries that Christian Gray is like just suffering through and pushing hard through and playing through. And it's he's dealt with that and it's kind of hampered him, but he's been resilient and he's been able to make plays at clutch times for this team. And so with all of that going on, this team is really rounding into shape on all 3 levels. And I love the way he talks about we're aggressive, we're dictating to the offense, because a lot of people felt like Chris Ash wasn't doing that the first 2 weeks. I think Chris Ash had a learning curve as well.
Yeah, I mean, the man told you he was running every coverage in the drive. So, and we said that before the game started that it's going to take a few games for the defense to get on board. Unfortunately, we went against 2 teams that were hot, teams that are still ranked, teams that are good still to this day, early. Those same 2 teams don't want to play us now because we're figuring out our identity defensively, and offensively we're hitting the stride. Beginning of the year, we didn't really know what stride to hit. So,
Thanks.
I mean, come on. Like, it's better that it's telling a greater story about us that we were truly learning ourselves in the beginning, and now we're hitting a stride where we're supposed to be, as opposed to starting hot, cooling off, starting hot again. We started cool and just stayed hot long enough. If we do these next 5 games right, gearing up ready for the first game of playoffs.
Yeah. If we go to the injury report for this matchup against Boston College, of course, Jaden Greathouse continues to be out. He was downgraded today. He hasn't played since the Arkansas game on September 27th with his leg injury. Jordan Botello, Matt Jeffrey, and Logan Thomas, they were questionable, but now they're good to go. And, of course, Charles Jagasaw, Ashton Craig out for the season. Billy Schrauff is probably going to be down for about 2 to 3 weeks. And Marcus Freeman 2 weeks ago said they're looking forward to getting Charles Jagasaw back soon. So Charles Jagasaw, hopefully, if he can get back in the next couple of weeks, he said we should have him back before the end of the season. If he comes back, he slides in right there with Billy Schrauff or just becomes part of the rotation. to help you out. If they have an injury at guard this week, big Christopher Terrick, the Chicago area kid, Christopher Terrick is going to be the next guy up. So, and Devontae Smith and Cooper Flanagan will probably be game time decisions. And I think with Devontae Smith, I think the way it's a good thing because Dallas Golden is playing. I was watching like the second half against USC. Dallas Golden was playing his tail off in the second half, bro. He's getting so much better. And that gives this staff confidence enough to say we can allow Devontae Smith to get back to 100%. Just like you get fully healthy before you come back because he continues to re-aggravate that same injury. So, and a calf is I can tell you, a calf is nothing to play with. A calf is nothing to play with, man.
Any lower leg injury is just awful, man. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah, it's nothing to play with. Marcus Freeman's Thursday presser is Zoom only with the media. It's not something that they put up. Right. Zoom only. All right, Lucky Lefty Podcast, FanDuel, FanDuel.com. You go over to FanDuel, you'll find Notre Dame. They are definitely huge favorites against Boston College. And 28.5 points I expected it to go up, but it's at 28.5 over at FanDuel.com.
That's right.
You can download the FanDuel app right now. Notre Dame is plus 550 to make the national championship game. And there are plus 1,000 to win the national championship. Plus 550 to make the national championship. Those are the 7th best odds. The 7 teams in front of them to make the national championship: Ohio State, Indiana, Alabama, Texas A&M, Georgia, and Oregon. So their odds are better than the team they lost to in week 1, and that's Miami. Vegas must know something. They have the 5th best odds to win it all, though. That's crazy. The 7th best odds to make the national championship, but the 5th best odds to win it. So basically they're saying, like, if they make it, more than not, they're probably going to have a good shot to win it. Interesting. You can find that over at FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app. All right, Left. CJ Carr was the first key to your 3 keys to victory against Boston College. And CJ Carr met with the media and he shared his thoughts on like the bye week, how it benefited him, offensive line. This is what he had to say.
For sure, it was good to just go home and see the family for a little bit and hang out. And I went to my brother's high school game, so it was cool to just be able to watch a game from a fan's perspective instead of playing.
What were the first 7 weeks like for you as you kind of look back at it?
They went fast. I expected it to feel a lot longer, but it's been a fun process, and I've enjoyed it.
I don't like it. He's too relaxed. What you chilling for? You about to hit the stretch and you chilling? You want to go back home and get some love from the fans in high school? Man, you supposed to lock yourself away in the dungeon. What who's I watching? Said Shedeur Sanders said, I'm not going home for bye week. I gotta go lock in because big things are coming. So I don't like that he relaxed. No, I don't.
The man can't go see his family later.
Man, no, he can't. What? Shannon Sharp didn't even take his phone in the building when he went to football. They had to call the front desk to tell the coach to tell Shannon that a family member passed. Because that's what it's going to take to get to New York.
Now I will look. I look. I agree with that. I agree with that.
That's like you going to a country concert on the week. Why?
I agree with that. Like,
You're supposed to take a week to get ahead. You don't be chilling and hanging out. You got a game next week. You hanging out. See, that's a killer instinct I don't like. Not that he can't relax, but relax in the film room. Like take a nap after you done watched a couple clips in the film. Get you some ice cream and they come back.
So you would be more.
Got some of the moms cooking. She done read your bedtime story. You saw your high school teachers. Like you didn't just see them. Yeah, that you had your little friends tell about how cool they saw you on TV and all that. It's like what you ain't did nothing yet.
Chill. You got to chill.
Just saying.
You got to chill, bro. You got to chill, man.
You're too chill. Yeah, you stop chilling.
You got to chill, bro. Read him a bedtime story. You got to chill.
He had to go home.
Matter of fact, I got to
He had to run home to get loved on. Okay.
You got to chill.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. But listen, you the quarterback. I need you to be in warrior mode.
I feel you.
What LeBron do? 0 dark 30. Turned off social media, just locked in. 0 dark 30. You over here. Yeah, man. I had to see my grandma. She done baked me some cookies, man. And my mom made my favorite lasagna, and we watched movies at home, and my brother had a game, and like what? You a multi-million-dollar man right now. You gotta lock in. Cause the thing is, these sports gamblers, these people with their life on the line, with the football in his hands, they don't want to see a pick, and then you sitting there talking about, oh yeah, I was hanging out. Hanging out with my money on the line, my NIL.
So you never went back to your high school?
No, I didn't. No, not during the season. No, I didn't. For what? You work so hard to get on TV so they can watch you. You 7 games in going back home. It's not a good sign. You got potentially 14 more games. I'm sorry. 11 more games.
You know what? It's funny. You know what's funny? I was literally just watching a Cam Newton interview. Who did he sit down with? I forgot who he sat down with, and he was talking about how the whole scandal came up, like when he was making his decision between Mississippi State and Auburn, right? And Dan, he was talking about that basically Dan Mullen and his wife are the ones that snitched and created the story, right? And so it was funny because he said when he got the call from Gene Chizik to come down to the office, he was like, yeah, my mom and dad were in town. They pretty much stayed in town. Like while I was at Auburn. He's like, so when Coach Chizik was like, yeah, your parents still here? He was like, yeah. He's like, moms had just got through cooking. So I guess you're right, in a sense. Like, I'm sure his parents would have come to see him. I mean, they have a family, though, so I can't say that. I can't say that. Situations are different. But I understand you, especially now, this is the thing. If he had continued to be red hot all the way through USC, I would venture to say you would have a little bit more grace on him going back home.
Yeah, absolutely. If you had a Jeremiah Love game, that brother deserved some time off. Matter of fact, you know what he did in his time off? Went and got some more NIL money. Then shot a few more commercials. That's a hard work. That's a Heisman contending guy. He understand he in season. He off, but he ain't off. CJ, this ain't high school, man. You supposed to be up and go. What they say, you never go back to the hood. You made it. Why are you going back to the hood, CJ? Right, SD? You ain't going back to the south side of Chicago once you get right.
Come on, dog. I go to the south side of Chicago every day. I'm the wrong example. Every day. I'm on the south side of Chicago every day. I'm the wrong example. That's what I said. I'm the wrong example. The church is on the south side of Chicago.
You don't live over there.
I'm there.
Oh, see, you don't live over there. You there?
I have no problem. My wife has a problem living over there. I don't have a problem living over there. She said, I grew up over there. I don't need to be there ever again. I said,
See, that's
understood.
what I need. I need your wife to talk to CJ and tell him I don't need to be there ever again. Why?
My wife needs to talk to CJ.
Yeah,
Carr.
tell her I don't need to be there.
Wow.
Why? You made it.
That's why.
Yeah, tell her you made it. You don't need to be back there. Voice of reason. That's all.
You got
Voice
the
of
chill.
reason. Anyway, I mean, yeah, that works if you Julian saying go home, chill, play with his brothers at school, go do some events, some book signings. He do all that. But CJ right now, this is the prime time. Lock in. Stop going back to your hood, man. It's dangerous.
I doubt very seriously if CJ Carr's hood is dangerous. It's saline, bro.
That's the mentality we need him to have. It's dangerous. You go back, the people that hate on you the most, he need all them stories. What them stories?
What? Either they don't know or show or care about what's going down in the hood.
We gotta start scaring CJ straight, man. We gotta show him boys in the hood what happened to Ricky.
Come on, man. Come on.
We gotta because he didn't get the message. You cannot go back home, CJ. He didn't grow up watching the same movies. He should know better, man.
So he needs to watch Boys and Menace. That's what you're saying?
Yeah. He needs to sit him down. Ricky, the football star that love his family, want to go back home to the hood. Ain't nothing there for you, CJ. I know it feels good to go back to your high school and all that, but it ain't for you, man. It's dangerous.
You are crazy. Look,
everybody else get that talk. Why can't he get that talk?
CJ Carr talked about his growth, dealing with adversity, starting with game one and moving forward. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, you learn from all the mistakes, and then also just being out on the field and doing it has really helped.
What did you learn from the maybe the struggles in the USC game that can help you now for these last 5 games?
Yeah, for sure. That USC game was a battle. The whole 60 minutes, and so dealing with the environment, dealing with the crowd, and dealing with all those things. We've been through it with Miami. We went through it with Texas A&M, and then you add on the elements to that, and you come out on top in a top 25 matchup, and it felt great.
Midway through the season, what's your mindset right now? What goals do you have?
It's just 1 week at a time. It's every week is the playoffs, and we're trying to just continue to elevate and be the best team that we can be.
Hey, Left, what if he took his iPad with him back to the crib, Left, and they were sending him the plays, and he was looking at film while he was getting read the bedtime story? Is that okay?
Then it'd be my question, why are you leaving then? Because now the server's bad, the screen's smaller. It's like you have. That's like you saying, you know what, SD, you should do church from home because you just cleaned up the room.
Everybody's at the crib in the sanctuary, but I'm streaming. Yeah, I'm streaming from the crib.
Just get on the same clothes. Do it from home. See, you can't have step like that. You can't have step like that. And see, the thing is, he's losing the fire. He's like, he got the face of, man, it's a long ass season. That's what his face looked like. What happened to
honestly, that's why I feel like he's going to make his biggest jump. Bowl prep. I feel like, it has to be mentally draining for the young kid.
Absolutely.
It has to be.
He's realizing we got a game again. Yeah, it's because the excitement happens. You get your first game in. We finna be the best in the country. Yeah, I'm finna grinding every day. You week 7, a couple bad games, couple good games. You like, whoa, I still gotta. That's why the mood has tempered off.
And the pressure mounts. And the pressure mounts.
You can tell because he's like, man, let me not go out here and be too boisterous.
Yeah.
And be too, because I've seen week to week anything can happen. You see how he said, yeah, he started talking about the elements, the environment. CJ, you was at home. What are you talking about? you had a home game. You talking about you was dealing with the crowd like Miami. What you mean you was at home? You were dealing with no crowd.
No, they were on the road in Miami. They were at home for Texas A&M.
Playing USC. We was at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to deal with the environment, the crazy fans. They're your fans. They're cheering for you. You had a it's tough. Each and every week is a new week. Even though you feel confident each week, you got to go out there and perform every day. And so I think he's getting that realization as he's talking to the media, because he knows probably some things that he's good in, probably some things he's not too good at. So he's probably excited, but that energy's got to be even more now, just because the team can't see you like that, because they'll be like that, and then they come out looking dead. Everybody's just like, I'm coming off and hanging out at home, and now you thrust it back into a crazy environment. See, that's why I don't like turning it on and off. What you turning it off for? You know how hard it is to restart your refrigerator once you unplug it? It's gonna take a minute. When it's hot in the house and you need to make it cold, it's gonna take a minute. You can be like, oh man, I gotta sit right here with that cold air start circulating. It's gonna take a while. I don't like you turning it off, especially after a bad game. Michael Jordan never. Well, maybe. But LeBron never. Michael Jordan maybe. I don't know. So.
Boy, I tell you, Clutch Sports is always trying to create narratives, boy, to elevate their guy. Always.
I'm just saying.
It's always trying to create narratives to elevate their guy. Failure. That's all I see. Failure. What's next, CJ?
Consistency that our whole offense plays at, and being able to consistently put points on the board and start fast, and win the middle eight and then finish the game off strong. I think the crispness and how we do that is really important.
Where you feel this red zone offense is that's obviously been an area that you guys haven't had as consistent throughout the year.
Yeah, it's good. We're getting there, and same answer. We're just trying to continue to be more consistent and work to be the best version of Notre Dame offense we can be.
You know what, bro? Now this is the thing.
His edge, Jack.
This is. I will say this. I will say this. If people, you can go listen to the press conference again. It's up on Notre Dame's YouTube page. This question was about him,
right?
And he referenced the offense and being consistent. That's two ways you could take that. I'm going to go the way of positivity. And I'm going to say that he now recognizes and understands I'm the Scottie Pippen of this offense.
Yeah. Please let me be the Scottie Pippen of this offense.
He fully grasped now, right?
Because he's like, no. We got to be better because, we got to finish some of them runs. We got to, make communication. Because, look, you saw what we dealing with. Sometimes I throw a swing route, get a touchdown. So I know my role in this thing. So you ain't talking to me yet. Now, this is where it changes. Next year is him. He's got to say I next year.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's okay right now. Yeah, we, French man. But next year is I need to, Mr. Quarterback, because that's where it's changing. So right now, this is why having a run game is so important for him, so he can develop the right way. Yeah, this is where you grow consistency. When you have a run game, that means you got to be on point in your moments to support the run game. And that's where I think his next 5 games, and why I say the fire's got to be more important. Because don't take a back seat. Your back seat is when you win a championship, but you're too relaxed, in my opinion, even though your role isn't as major, it's still very important.
Yeah.
Because last week, that tone of voice and how you going about it in the press conference, this is just me superimposing, but it sounded like the performance last week. Oh, hit or miss. We're gonna hit sometimes, we're gonna miss sometimes, gotta get better. Oh, it's just one of those things. Well, it can't be. Because as a young leader, it will be even more glowing for you to be owning the responsibility when there is greater options on the team right now. You should be even more hard on the self in the offense and being more expecting. Like, dang, I got two guys that are the best like this. Oh, there's no excuse why we not in the end zone. And if that's me not opening it up, using the back of the end zone, throwing the football or throwing more outside or not running out of bounds, I need to help them be better because there's no reason why we getting stopped on the one. If I got to throw another block, I got to be better. Just there's other ways to include you individually in the we aspect outside of you just saying, can't turn the ball over, got to make better decisions, But I think if anything, that's just the face of a guy that knows that this isn't easy. Even having a good team. I can only imagine if we had holes.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have receivers or we didn't have a running game or O-line wasn't good. So, even good things have problems.
Man, I think it's going to be very important that you said it. The first, I think you said the first 3 to 4 series are critical for Notre Dame. Like, we have to come out and establish that we're going to smack these dudes around.
And you don't get that from your quarterback right now. It's just like, it's just another day in the office. We back at it. Went to Cancun for a week, hung out, chilled, got to see some friends. Now we just back in that's why I say don't relax.
Yeah.
Don't turn it on and off, even if it's a luxury. Because you can walk into some of these games and it'd be a struggle. It would be a loss in my mind if we beat this team by 10 points.
I don't foresee that, but yes, that would be great. That would be a great disappointment. That would be a great disappointment. I would agree.
A team that's telling you in the Monday presser, if we ain't been good stopping the run. So if we don't, stop them now, it's gonna be a long night.
Speaking of that, speaking of that,
Jeremiah is great running back. They have two really good backs, and they do a good job. Their offensive line is excellent, huge, tough, physical. It's going to be a physical match. The strength of their team is up front on both sides of the ball. I mean, both the offensive line and defensive line are very, very good, very well coached, and we have to. If we're struggling to stop the run, it's going to be a long.
It's going to be a long night, my brother. It's going to be a long night.
That's what I'm saying.
They have given up 200 yards rushing 3 times this season, and Louisville ran for 314 last week. I'm going to say that again, Lev. Louisville ran for 314 last week.
He's telling you, man, these dudes is physical, strong, big, fast, tough, really good backs. Man, it's going to be a long night. And we go out there and throwing picks and beating them by 10. We're going to have to play the CJ press conference on Monday. Yeah, I was hanging out, chilling, eating hot dogs at my brother's game, throwing the football with the kids.
He looks more like a nachos guy.
Yeah, nachos.
He doesn't look like a glizzy guy to me, bro.
No, straight nachos.
Nachos.
Mom made my favorite cookies. Read my favorite story. Tucked me in.
Stop, man.
That's what it sounds. Why are you going home? You cannot go back to the hood, CJ. That's what That's the theme of the game. No more going back to the hood, CJ.
Lock in. I understand what you're saying. Lock in.
No, not lock in. No more going back to the hood. Can't go home.
Lock in. I'm
It's
not gonna tell
dangerous.
anybody not to go see their mom, bro. I used to go see my mom to get some.
His mom is shown just as much as he is every game.
Hey, all
She's
I'm
very
saying is
supportive. She's
you
very
won't hear
supportive.
me hate on anybody going back home.
But it's
It was
dangerous.
just it was a couple of days left. That was Friday, Saturday. We back
A couple of
Sunday.
days you can run into your op.
He had the iPad. He could probably go ahead and port the iPad to the big screen on the wall.
He's too content kissing babies, seeing his teachers, hooking
Now
up.
you're exaggerating. Now you're exaggerating.
What else you do when you go home? What else you do
Nobody-
when you go home?
He said he went to see his family and watch his brother play football.
Okay, does that sound like he did any studying?
You're adding things to
He out
it,
there
bro.
playing Monopoly family night games. He making candy apples and carving pumpkins, and he got a big family. He ain't fooling me. You think he really went home and locked in and was like, let me give these 3 hours in? No, he ain't disciplined yet. His brother was out there chilling, probably went to a couple bonfires. You know how them be. Oh, big man on campus, CJ.
He was carving pumpkins, bro.
Carving pumpkins, had the flannel on. He had the flannel shirt on.
Oh boy, you
He
are
threw that
wild.
flannel on. It wasn't no iPad in sight. Thing wasn't even charged. Thing probably didn't even leave a book bag. He had to visit all the little local spots. He had to go and visit his Pee Wee field. They probably retired his jersey. I mean, come on. Tyler Horka putting up clips soon.
You're wild. Look, he left the podcast. You are wild today, bro. Let's get on. Joe Ottie. Great game against USC. He gets the bye week to prepare even more. This is what Joe Ottie said about being ready for the moment.
You never know when your opportunity is going to arise here, and to always stay ready. It's what we take pride in. That next man up mentality, and so always coming every day to work to get better. It's the most important thing, and that's what I try to do. So.
And then when you signed, I think it was your athleticism that people were talking about. Where's your game kind of evolved since you've been here?
Yeah, obviously they see me as an athletic guy. I was a big hooper back in the day, but I've been involved in my strength. Just getting off the ball, tearing off the ball. Also with communication with my guys and just playing for the brother next to me, biggest thing. And so. And lastly, I'd say my pass pro so much better. Coming from a wing tee offense, it's really weird, but definitely big time in that.
I like him, man. He looks like a confident kid. He's played like a confident kid.
He still O-line interviews because they're boring because they too detailed and he too locked in. That's a locked in guy. That's a guy that he even said he can hoop a little bit. He versatile. He working on many different things. We can skip that just because we know he handling his business, man. The man, his shoulder pads a little too big, but maybe that's his edge. But anytime you get a number higher than 60, I believe him when it comes from Notre Dame.
Man, look. Oh man. Woo-wee. I see your boy Pete is in the building laughing at you. Pete, man, get your boy, man. He's on one today.
Man, for real, man. Stop going to
He's on one. But stop going to Oh man, Joe Ottie, man.
They tell everybody that. I don't know why they're not telling CJ that because it's dangerous. He need to be in that film room, hitting that ice bath routine. You know what I mean? Because you got that sophomore slump coming. This the parade right now.
Man, stop playing. That man is okay, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not saying.
okay.
Wait. Let me stop. I'm not saying he's okay. What I'm saying is, I don't think he went up there and spent the week during the bye week, bro. I think he lived Probably drove up Friday, went to his brother's game Friday night, spent Saturday, and came back Sunday morning.
What they do to Jamarcus Russell? They put $100 in his playbook to see if he opened it. He came back, $100 is still in the playbook.
Maybe he's just an honest. Maybe he's just an honest kid, man. Maybe Jamarcus Russell was just honest, like, oh, this isn't my $100, so I'll leave it in here.
Amen.
Bronte Johnson talking about the defense and how they're becoming a defense that's really hard to beat. This is what he had to say.
Everywhere, to be honest, you know. Just every game, every day, I'm just learning stuff new. I'm learning different things. So I would say it's definitely slowing down for me everywhere, to be honest. The biggest part for me, I would say, would just be like the run fits and like the run gaps, because I feel like that's where I needed to improve on my game to be a complete safety. So that's definitely slowing down, you know, and it still has some ways to go as far as that aspect of the game, but I would say pretty much everywhere.
And then the last couple of weeks, the defense looks like it has its swagger back. I guess, what's it like being in that type of environment where everybody's making plays at all three levels?
It feels good, you know, especially after watching how, you know, our defense was last year, and not to talk too much about last year, but that's the type of team and defense that I wanted to play for, you know, and to have that energy back, it feels good all around, you know. It feels like we're all competing, which is the main part. We're all playing for each other. We're all playing just to be our best, and I feel like if we come out with that swagger and that confidence every game, you know, it will be hard to beat.
Do they fully have their swagger back left? Do you think this defense has the full swagger back, similar to last year? Shout out to Bronte saying, man, I don't really want to talk about last year's defense because I think that's something that's been drilled in them. Like, yo, this isn't last year. The totally different edition of Notre Dame defense. So lock into that. And I just love hearing him talk about the run fits, right? Because, you know, his athleticism, his length, his range, the easy thing for him to do is probably play the pass. But being able to learn his lanes, how to run the lanes, come down, fit, and then go and make the tackles. Once he learns that, from a mental standpoint, it kind of just allow his athleticism to take over. He's going to ascend and continue to ascend and get better as a player. So, but yeah, I think this defense is right there, ready to lock in for the next 5 games. I really do.
I mean, it goes back to how you speak about it. You didn't hear them go up there talking about we need to be more consistent. So
yeah,
you didn't hear them talk about we need to play better in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's the way you speak about it is reflective of how you play. And then, you know, they're playing, you know, he's playing like he hasn't gone home. He said he there every day. He trying to learn all these things to be the best. That sounds like a guy that's locked in, not going home to get mom's cookies.
Man, leave that alone, man.
But I do think it's pretty special, though, for him to understand in his youth how impactful it is to have a role in this defense to make it go. And he's been finding his spots, and I think that's growing his overall confidence. And then when you're playing along with Don and other great players in that secondary, it makes it easier to do your job when everybody else is doing theirs.
Yeah, I agree with that. Lucky Lefty podcast. After Bronte, Jason Onye, which I think is an incredible story, right? Unfortunately, for personal reasons, he had to step away from the team last year. But going into that, he is literally, I say he's the best spring football player that Notre Dame has had probably in the last 3 or 4 years. Finally excited about him being able to put it out there on the field during the regular season, had a fantastic game against USC. And that really goes back to the game before where he really started to come on that game. I think he is blooming at the right time and adding even more depth to this defensive line that was able to go ahead and shut down that USC run game and dominate. And so Jason Onye, who grabbed my heart 2 years ago when in the spring he met with the media and said, "Man, I'm not supposed to be here." He's like, "Kids from the area I grew up in, we don't get chances like this." And he still persevered and fought through some things to be able to grasp this moment. And he talked about coming back and just growing and making plays in the defense.
Give me pretty much a lot of confidence. Just being able to play the brand of football that I know that I'm capable to do. The thing now that I have to keep working on, and just like being honest, is just like being consistent about it. Expecting that same level of play for myself each and every Saturday.
And then facing Joe Otting and Sullivan every day in practice, what do those two do well?
I mean, those two are guys. They're basically no drop off. I see from Billy and Ashton. I told Jaya when the first time he was getting a start, I think it was last week against USC, go be the dog I know you can be, because like I know what's expected of him and know how he trains and practices each and every single day. So there's really no surprise that they're going to play and dominate the rest of the season or however long need be.
What's allowed the defensive line and the defensive tackles in particular to take the steps they have throughout the season?
I would honestly just say left foot, right foot, just being consistent, buying into the game plan, buying into Coach Ash, Coach Walsh, like the little details, the intricacies, more film analysis, just like being able to like play more free once we get the play call, play more fast, and play as confident as we know we can be able to. It all starts in practice overall. So just like the way we come to practice, what's demanded of us, that's like the main thing I'd say.
Jason, how do you define winning in the trenches, and what's the biggest growth you've seen from this year compared to week one?
I mean, the main thing is just violence, I'd say. Violence and play speed. Like, you can't have no hesitation when you're playing in the trenches, because at the end of the day, it's a battle of two wills. So if you're the faster, lower, leverage also matters. But if you're the fastest, lowest, and you have the most, Coach Walsh uses the term bad intentions, you should win each and every time.
Bad intentions. That seems like everybody that comes in on that defensive line seems like, yo, this is my rep. These are my 2 reps. They're playing fast, violent. They definitely look like they have bad intentions. I love hearing that from Jason Onye. And once again, shout out to that young man for the resilience he's shown during his time at Notre Dame.
I mean, I think he should share it. I mean, we share mental health issues. We should definitely share those. Just to add to the story, I think, like you said, he was so dominant, and then he just disappeared. It's kind of like some other things, but it's cool to see. It's just funny when they reiterate this violence and bad intentions. Like, duh, like that's the first ingredient to being a football player, especially a D lineman, is violence and bad intentions. And I do think has to be, reminded, because it is a physical game, and our run defense has been reflective of that. And it's good to see leaders like Onye have that impact by being there. It was hard when he wasn't. So if he keeps showing up, that's doing a defense way better than when he wasn't there.
Yeah. And he is, to me, representative of what we said about this defensive line. Like, just workman-like depth. Might not have the Riley Mills, might not have the Howard Cross specifically when it comes to rushing the passer from the interior, but man, all together, snap to snap across the board, they are getting the job done, and they continue to get better. They continue to grind, they continue to get better, and they're all on one accord. And I love that. I'm looking excited. Like I said, right now, 17th in the nation, giving up 100.3 yards per game on the ground. And we said this was the season that Notre Dame could possibly hold teams under 100 yards per game on the ground. And I'm telling you, man, that's looking really good. That prediction before the season is starting to look really good.
That's right.
For this defensive line. And I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Lucky Lefty podcast. So it's time for your prediction, Left. Remember, no show tomorrow, guys. I'll be out doing recruiting and covering, doing recruiting work and covering high school playoff football here in Illinois. How do you see this one playing out?
I got us in a 56-point game, 56-10. Get them out of here early after the bye week. Overall, 3 phases of the game looking great. It should be seamless, but also should be urgent in the fact that we need to get points on the board early on. And I think a 28-point half, 30-point half is the range we need to be in to win with style points against a team that's telling you that they're going to have a long night dealing with your run game.
Yeah. As I said before, they gave up 317 last week to Louisville. They've given up 200, over 200, 3 times this season. And on average, they're giving up 184 per game. And as you heard the head coach of the Eagles, Bill O'Brien, say, hey, man, if we don't stop the run, it's going to be a long day. And coach, I think it's going to be a long day for your crew. I really do. Lucky Lefty podcast. I like to point out one of the things Marcus Freeman shared. Elijah Burris had played 2 games earlier this year, has not been playing. It's not because of injury. It's not because of anything that's being done in practice. It's just a red shirt thing. 5 games left. So they might play him one more game, but they're trying to keep that year of eligibility. And one of the things he talked about earlier today is that basically, behind the scenes, Cam Williams is on track to get on the field. Cam Williams is on track to get on the field, and he'll be seen in that light in your eyes, hopefully before you know it. That's head coach Marcus Freeman talking about Cam Williams because, of course, he's only a true sophomore. And everybody's been saying, what happened to Cam Williams? He's working. He's getting better. And now it's his time, especially with the injury to Micah Gilbert, who's out once again with his hand injury. He's working, man. He's in his 3rd semester as a college student. Give him a chance. Give him a chance. Lucky Lefty podcast.
Jeremiah Smith, man, what's going on?
I guess so, Left. I guess so. Once again, Lucky Lefty podcast, the Heisman odds, you'll see that the number 1 non-quarterback right now is a virtual tie between the Jeremiahs. Jeremiah Love and Jeremiah Smith sit at 40 plus 45. No, plus 15. No, what is that? I'm sorry, plus 4,500. Yes, plus 4,500. This top 5 is interesting, bro. I'm going to keep it a buck. Because Mendoza is number 1 at plus 185. Julian Sand is number 2 at plus 400, along with Ty Simpson. Marcel Reed is plus 650, along with Diego Pavia. Gunnar Stockton comes in plus 1,500. Pavia is at plus 950. Haynes King, he needs some better odds, man. Plus 3,000 at this point. Heck, Trinidad Chambliss is at plus 3,000. I don't know how Chambliss has greater odds than Jeremiah, to keep it a buck.
Because it's rigged.
Plus 6,000 CJ Carr at this point. I mean, I feel like he's
not much a non-player can do, I guess. I mean, they just tossing any quarterback in there.
Yeah. Yep. So that's it, man. Great show, Left. We talked about Malik's 3 keys. You can go back if you missed that. We also talked about what we think is a trend that needs to change when it comes to hiring coaches at big-time programs. Stop swinging for the home run. It's okay to take the walk or to get the single. And it works out better in the end, on the field and off the field, in our opinion. Then we talked about CJ Carr, his comments about the bye week and how the offense is improving. And then we heard from Bronte Johnson and Jason Onye and Joe Otting as well. And then Max Bullock broke down what we always thought would be the best positional group, which was the linebackers. Shout out to Left saying that before the season started, and they are playing absolutely amazing. He talked about Kingston, Phila Muasa, and he also talked about his guy Drake Bowen, what makes them special, and then just talked about the identity of the defense. So if you missed it, you can go back and watch it. If you're just tapping in with us, subscribe on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. It helps with the views. We greatly appreciate it. Follow us on TikTok, X, Twitter, and Instagram at Lucky Lefty Pod. And then hit us up on Bleav Network. Audio edibles each and every day. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Presented by FanDuel. FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app. All right, guys. So we'll catch you guys in the aftermath. Left, are you guys going to do a post-game show immediately after the game?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. For the first week, they're going to try and do the players only immediately after the game. Immediately after the game. Right here. So tap in right after Boston College and Notre Dame. Left and Notre Dame players will be talking about how things went down. So for Left SD2 Mics, we bid you adieu. Until next time, right here at Lucky Lefty Podcast. Have a great Thursday evening, but most of all, continue to love each other and make
Don't
sure.
go back to the hood and
you spin it.
definitely.